everyone, and welcome once again. Welcome once again, people. I am here. I am JT, aka the Master, and this is For No Reason. Hey, we're talking about fantasy football week 5. Week 5, people. I mean, it's going by quick. And if you 4-0, 3-1, 1-3, 2-2, it is what it is. 0-4. Unfortunately, if were you unlucky? Did you have a hard early schedule? It's all possible. Okay, you thought you drafted a good team, and for whatever reason, if you're 1-3 or even in the middle and 2-2 or 0-4, things aren't working out for you, or you're in flux right now. This is the first 4 games of the season going into week 5. Probably time to make some moves. Assess your. Well, you got to do it now. I mean, because this is when the games start. So you got to do it after week 5. I mean, you got an idea of what your team is performing like, or like it's performing, whether it's under or it's overachieving. You got to make an assessment and make a move. 4-0 don't guarantee that you're going to get in the playoffs. It gets you closer to that mark that you're going to be in the playoffs, but doesn't guarantee it, because just like that, you can go on a losing streak and your playoffs hope could be dashed. So you got 4 games, regardless of what your schedule is. Because you can't change your schedule. Regardless of what your record is. That's what I wanted to say. You got to assess your team. You got to say, okay, we're overachieving. I had some big weeks. Guys stepped up, made some huge numbers, helped me win a game. But can I count on them going further? Or do I capitalize on what they've done and pick up more talent and better talent? Okay, because these guys overachieved or underachieved, and these guys are good talent, but for whatever reason, game script or whatever, they're underachieving, or they're not doing what you predicted or thought they were going to do. So you got to make some moves. I'm telling people, you got to make some moves. Regardless of how much you want to hold on to them, you got to make some moves. Now, let me talk about this. I'm going to talk about this briefly, okay? The art of trading. In my opinion, you got to get dollar for dollar, okay? Now, you can't offer people stuff that doesn't make any sense. You're trying to get rid of dead weight on your roster, and you want somebody that's putting up fantasy numbers. You can't do that. That creates bad blood, and that creates animosity that you think the person that you're trying to make an offer to that doesn't know what's going on. You got to offer something that makes sense. Not something that no self-respecting fantasy football player would agree to. And some people think that is okay to put hot garbage, and I'll say it like that, hot garbage, for quality players. Come on, man. Come on. I don't like doing that. I like equal to equal. You got a need, I have a need. Let's fulfill our needs. Let's come to some common ground. You want a player, or you're lacking in the tight end. You're lacking in a wide receiver, running back, or quarterback. I'm offering you that quarterback along with maybe something else, or even just by itself. And you got to, I've always said this, you got to give to get. You got to give to get. And if you're not willing to give, then you don't get. Then you're going to sit in 0-4, 1-3, possibly 2-2. Don't know whether you're going 2-3 or 3-2. At 4-0, like I said, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. I mean, fantasy football, and I've said this before, fantasy football is part skill, and a lot of luck. A lot of luck. And that's a fact. If you don't believe that, then you probably shouldn't be playing fantasy football, because you get a lot of good, got a lot of good and a lot of bad. Get bad weeks, get a few bad weeks, can't do anything about it. You just take your lumps and move on, and try to assess what you need and how you can get it. Okay, that's all you do. That's all you do. How you need, what you need, and how you get it. You can't do any worse than that. Okay, you can't do any worse than that. Now let's get into week 5, people. Now, your Saquon Barkley owners, it looks like Saquon Barkley is unlikely to play. Okay, Jameer Gibbs, you're Jameer Gibbs. I'm one of them. He's unlikely to play. I'm going to give you some guys I keep on telling you to pick up. And the window is closing. It's closing, people. Okay? Keaton Mitchell. Who's that? Who the hell is that? Keaton Mitchell is a running back from the Baltimore Ravens that is possibly could be the answer to the Baltimore Ravens running back issue. They got Gus Edwards. Come on, man. Gus Edwards, no. Keaton Mitchell, he fits my profile. He's around 6 feet, over 200 pounds, and he's a very good running back. Kendre Miller behind Alvin Kamara. I'm telling you to pick him up. I'm telling you to pick him up. Pick him up. Rashawn Johnson, Khalil Herbert is dealing with an ankle issue. He's dealing with a foot issue. Okay? Rashawn Johnson, I know he's in concussion protocol, but more than likely he'll come out of that. Okay? He'll come out of that. Thank you. He'll come out of that. And more than likely it will be the starting running back. I talked to you about Rashawn Johnson before the season, during the season. Every week I've talked to you about Rashawn Johnson. Okay. Ronnie Rivers behind Kyren Williams. He's not the most durable back. Ronnie Rivers behind Kyren Williams. He's not the most durable back. Okay. I'm just putting these out here. Jameson Williams. I've told you about him several weeks. He's back. If he didn't get hurt, and I know I don't like ifs, but I'm gonna say this: if he did not get hurt with the ACL last year, he would probably been the number one wide receiver taken. He probably been the number one wide receiver taken, and he had some issues last year dealing with coming back from an ACL. Played a few games, didn't do much. Okay, that's fine. And this year he was suspended for 6 games, got reduced down to 4 games, and now he's back. He's activated. Now he's going to be a light load, probably a light load today. I don't know why Detroit like to give their young players transition period. Jameer Gibbs was getting a light load and still is getting a light load. Jameson Williams, according to reports, is going to get a light load and transition into a role. But this, okay, if you have a flex position, and I'm telling you this, if you have a flex position, okay, available, and you're searching, and you're trying to figure out who do I put in the flex. You got people on bye week, Cleveland, Seattle, the Chargers, and trying to think else who else. There's another team that's on a bye. I can't think of it right now, but I will. You have a excuse me, a flex position open. Just think about it. Who do I put in that flex position? How about Jameson Williams? You're taking a shot. This kid. I've been telling you for the last couple of weeks. Pick this kid up. I expect this kid in that offense to do good things. Ross St. Brown may not be playing. He's dealing with issues, health issues. He may not be playing. Okay? So what's wrong with picking up someone that can do you some good? Do you some good? And I'm trying to find out who's in the bye week on week 5. Okay, here we go. Week 5, bye week. Bye weeks. Who's on a bye? Oh, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry. Tampa Bay, Seattle, Cleveland, and the LA Chargers. Okay? That's the 5. So you don't have any Rashad White. You don't have any Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. You don't have any DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett or Kenneth Walker or Geno Smith. You don't have any possible return of Austin Eckler or Keenan Allen or one of the other wide receivers for the LA Chargers or even Justin Herbert. So you're looking to put someone in that flex position. Okay. I know I'm leaving somebody out, and hopefully I'll bring it up before the end of the show about sleepers. But I've named wide receivers. I've named running backs. How about this week? How about this week? Tyler Conklin from the Jets. I know. I used to be a former Jet. Okay, no problem. How about Tyler Conklin picking up the slack? Okay. You got a young quarterback with trying to find his way. Found it last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm talking about Zach Wilson. Looking to continue that with going against Denver, in Denver. Young quarterback's best friend is a tight end. How about Tyler Conklin? Okay. All right, I picked him up in one of my leagues just to see. I mean, I put him on my bench. Okay, to see. I know he got about 6 or 7 targets the last game. Okay. Is he going to get that this game? Is he going to be a staple of the offense besides Garrett Wilson and any of the other pass catchers? Okay. But let's go this route. Let's go this route. Okay. We're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills going on right now as we speak. Okay. Right now as we speak. Okay. And let me just dial this up. I'll bring this up right now on my phone and try to get what the score is. It's 11-0. And Jacksonville's winning. Yes, Jacksonville's winning 11-0. And it looks like, let me see this box score in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has got over 1,000 yards, over 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. And that 1 touchdown went to who? And 1 touchdown went to Zay Jones. Okay. And Christian Kirk has 2 targets. Evan Ingram has 2 targets. Zay Jones has 2 targets, and Travis Etienne has 2 targets. And it looks like in the rushing, which is not a big staple for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're doing their damage in the passing game. And on the other side, Josh Allen has 7 attempts for 5 yards, for 23 yards, 5 completions and 7 attempts. Ooh, 3.3. And for those who talked about picking up Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, if they don't pick it up and it's going into the second quarter, this is going to look like a bad week for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Now, I'm just saying, it happens. Guys underperform. You get a stud quarterback or a stud wide receiver. You get that combo, and you like that combo. Okay. It's sometime during the season, they're going to have down weeks. You can't call them hot trash. They're just going to have down weeks. It happens. They can't sustain 3 touchdowns and 2 by the wide receiver or 100 yards every single game. It ain't going to happen. Defenses are going to adjust. It's not going to happen. You hope it happens, but it's not going to happen all the time. And, I mean, you put them out there with the expectation of what you expect to get. A rushing touchdown or two touchdowns in a 300-yard game and a 100-yard game from your quarterback. And it is what it is. So, but these characters, all of them, you had to play. Let's go to the Houston Texans and Atlanta Falcons. It looked like I was wrong about C.J. Stroud. He is constantly throwing in the upper twos. And man, when I say upper twos, 200 plus, and he's thrown for 40 times, 30, 35 times a game, and he looks like he's connected with Tank Dell, Nico Collins. They're the best friend of a young quarterback is the tight end, Dalton Schultz. You play those, including C.J. Stroud. Yes, you got to play him. Against Atlanta and Desmond Ridder, the only thing they have is Bijan Robinson. You got to play him. You got to play him. All those characters you got to play, okay? I don't like Drake London. Don't like Kyle Pitts because I don't like Desmond Ridder. He's just awful. And I can't see why the Atlanta Falcons are still staying with Desmond Ridder. It's a damn shame. Damn shame. All right, let's move on to the next one. Carolina Panthers at the Detroit Lions. I'm telling you now, I do not, and I said this before, and I'll say it again, do not like Bryce Young. I can't say I hate him. I do not like the play of Bryce Young. That's how I'll clarify it. So they're going to try to run the football. Detroit has got a good defense. You play a Detroit defense against this young rookie quarterback playing in Detroit? Hell yeah. In a dome? Hell yeah. You play Detroit defense. Okay? Adam Thielen. Seemed like Bryce Young liked to throw to Adam Thielen. I'm not a fan of Miles Sanders. I don't think that the offensive line for Carolina is any good. And they're going to stack the box and say, see, Bryce Young, if Carolina is going to beat us, you have to do it. I don't think he can do it. Don't think he can do it. Not against this defense and the defense playing at home. Okay. I'm telling you to play Jared Goff at home. You play Jared Goff at home. This defense in Carolina is not that bad, but Jared Goff, they're going to want to run the football. And I must admit, David Montgomery is the man in Detroit. And it looks like Amon-Ra may not play. Is it Josh Reynolds or Jameson Williams going to get involved in this more than what people think? In my opinion, it's Josh Reynolds and Sam Laporta with a little bit of Jameson Williams. I wouldn't be surprised they take a few shots down the field because Jameson Williams is a field stretcher. He is a field stretcher. And I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, let's move on to the next game, Tennessee Titans and Indianapolis Colts. I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm going to be all over the place with this one. Anthony Richardson, I told you people, I told you I thought he would be the number one pick. He wasn't. He was the third pick. Okay. But I said he would start day one. Some people said no. I said he would start day one. And the only reason he didn't start is because he was in concussion protocol. And he's been built up. He's been advertised. He's been as advertised. He can throw it. He's not the most accurate thrower, but he loves Michael Pittman. They have a connection. Okay. Michael Pittman's going to get peppered with opportunities against this Tennessee Titans, the worst, one of the worst, if not the worst, pass defensive team in the NFL and in fantasy. You saw what Deshaun Watson did. Now watch Anthony Richardson. Okay. Jonathan Taylor's back. I don't expect Jonathan Taylor to do a lot. I know a lot of people are excited Jonathan Taylor's back. I don't expect him to do a lot. Tennessee Titans make up their horrible pass defense with a run defense that's decent. Okay. So either Jonathan Taylor or Zach Moss, I don't expect them to do too much. This is going to be done in a passing game. I expect Michael Pittman and a little sprinkle of Josh Downs in this game. Okay? Ryan Tannehill, I'm not a fan of Ryan Tannehill. I'll tell you that right now. The offense of the Tennessee Titans centered around Derrick Henry. Duh. Like no one knows that. Like no one possibly knows that. DeAndre Hopkins is an afterthought, in my opinion. DeAndre Hopkins is an afterthought. Just this. I mean, they only have. You got Treylon Burks, who's probably not going to play. I don't think he's going to play. If he plays, okay. It's no big deal. DeAndre Hopkins is their only good option. Okay? I can't tell you to play anybody else on this roster. Derrick Henry. That's it. And he's going to get bottled up. I think Indianapolis is going to try to stop him. Okay, and say, okay, Ryan Tannehill, beat us. That's how I think that's going to go. But they're going to try to hammer it with Derrick Henry. We got the next game is a New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. Come on, man. Tua. I'm going to just go like this down the line, and you put them in where they fit in. All right, Tua, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Hello. And notice I didn't say anything about the Giants. I can't play one single Giant that I would think would be fantasy relevant in this game. There's been a big stink about Wan'Dale Robinson. Come on, man. You got Daniel Jones throwing the football. No. Matt Breida instead of Saquon Barkley? Come on, man. Give me a break. Not today. All right, let's move on to the new two news in this matchup. New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots in New England. let's go to the New Orleans side. Another week of Derek Carr dealing with his shoulder injury. Is he going to be closer to what Derek Carr was before he got injured? Or is he going to still be an injured Derek Carr dealing with a sole shoulder and a struggling offense? Now, this defense, especially at home, I'm talking about New England, is not a bad defense. It's just the offense that's got issues. But I'm going to stay with New Orleans first. Alvin Kamara is a play, definitely. Chris Olave is a play, definitely. Michael Thomas is a play, definitely. And that's it. Derek Carr, I know there's pass catchers in here, and of Olave and Michael Thomas who are going to suffer if Derek Carr can't get the ball down the field. But you got to play those players before the simple fact is if you put them on the bench because you don't like to play a Derek Carr and they go off, you're going to be in a situation of woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You don't want to be in that situation. You got to put your playmakers in there and cross your fingers and hope that they come up and play for you. The situations helps you, not hinder you in your matchup. On the other side, come on, man. I cannot play any of these New England Patriots. It's horrible. You got Mac Jones and then maybe Zappy. Come on. Really? Like I said before, and I'll say it again, this is probably going to be one of the lowest scoring teams in the NFL. And I still believe that. I still believe that. Their offense is horrible. They're dealing with smoke and mirrors, and the mirrors are getting cracked. You can't even look at it, what you want to see. You can't even look at yourself. That's how bad it is. Okay, let's move on. I want to move on with this. Baltimore at Pittsburgh, division rival. Ooh. Division rival. Baltimore, you got to play Lamar Jackson. I'm telling you, Keaton Mitchell, he may not. He's coming. He is coming. No J.K. Dobbins. Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. I think Gus Edwards is only the healthiest one out of it. And Melvin Gordon, come on, man. Come on. Keaton Mitchell, healthy. He came off the IR last week, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to get some run. I'm telling you, people, pick him up. Pick him up. What can I tell you? And Mark Andrews, you got to play Mark Andrews. You're dealing with Rashad Bateman. I think he's not playing. Odell Beckham, he's hobbled, and Zay Flowers. Okay, you can play Zay Flowers if you want to. I'm not impressed with the passing game in Baltimore. Okay, other than Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews, that's a staple of the Baltimore Ravens. On the other side, I told you the very first game. And before that, I wasn't impressed with Kenny Pickett. I was not impressed with Kenny Pickett. And I haven't been proven wrong yet. You can't play Kenny Pickett. He's coming off a knee contusion or bruise or whatever. So he's going to be a little tepid in what he does in the backfield. He's probably not going to run. He's going to be a statue back there. And the offensive line, I know they did some improvements to the offensive line in Pittsburgh, but it's not that big of an improvement. So you play the Baltimore defense for one. You're quite naturally, you play the Baltimore kicker, Justin Tucker. They're going to be in position to kick field goal direction points. I guarantee you that. Mr. Trubisky, is he going to play or is it Kenny Pickett? Doesn't make a difference in what quarterback it is. I tell you that right now. Doesn't make a difference. Najee Harris has been getting out-touched by Jalen Warren. So that's what 45, 55, something like that. Come on, man. Come on. That's why in one league I got rid of Najee Harris. A name, yes. A name, yes. Production, no. Production, no. If you can get rid of him, you should have got rid of him by now because he hasn't been producing anything. George Pickens, come on, man. If you don't like the quarterback and the ability of the quarterback, I know it's George Pickens. Okay. George Pickens. Okay. Don't like George Pickens either. Don't like George Pickens either. I don't like that combination. Whatever quarterback and George Pickens? No. All right, let's move on to a Bengal team that I don't know what's going on with Joe Burrow. He's still not healthy. He's still not healthy, people. Still not healthy. But if you sit Joe Burrow, you better have a better option because they're playing in Arizona. Arizona is playing inspired football. And they also are playing very inspired football when they're playing at home. I would play Joe Mixon because I think they want to try to run the football and protect Joe Burrow as much as you can. You got to play Jamar Chase. What else? What else? You drafted him high. I got rid of him. You drafted him high. You got to play him. I know he's been underperforming, but it all takes one game to break out and get a rhythm. You got to play him. Along with Tyler Boyd. I know. Excuse me. I know. Doesn't look like T. Higgins is going to play. Or if he tries to play, I don't think with a cracked rib, I don't think he's going to be effective. So do you want a T. Higgins with a cracked rib that plays only part of the game because he can't give it the full game? Or you want a Tyler Boyd that you can pick up? Because I know Tyler Boyd is probably on a lot of waiver wires. Maybe probably not now. Probably because of T. Higgins' news over the week. But Tyler Boyd is the play in that. James Conner, since he's run defense is not that good. You play James Conner. Josh Jobs had been benefiting from that. Oh, and I forgot this kid. And before I do that, I'll go this way. You play Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has been getting a lot of targets. Okay, he's getting sufficient targets to warrant me mentioning him in here. Okay, and then this one rookie, this sleeper. I think I mentioned him last week. If I'm not, I'm mentioning him this week. Michael Wilson. All right, he got 6 or 7 targets last week. Got a touchdown. Got 70 yards, 75 yards last week. Michael Wilson, a rookie. Yes. You put him on your bench, okay? Or take a shot with him. Since his pass defense is not that good, and as Josh Dobbs has been doing an admirable job getting the ball to his pass catcher. Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz, and Michael Wilson. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want. That's what you want. Okay? Let's move on. This should be a shootout here because the Rams are one of the surprising teams this year. They're not as bad as most people think they are, and they can put up points. Matthew Stafford's healthy. Cooper Kupp is coming back. You got Puka Nacua setting second records. And Tyler Higbee. Okay. I would put, absolutely. They're playing home. For whatever that's worth, they're playing home. You got to play them. You have to play these guys. Cooper Kupp coming back. Supposedly he's healthy. They put him out there. I don't know how much he's going to do, but he's Cooper Kupp. Just like I said, if he's active and he's playing and he's one of these guys that you're going to regret if you have him on the bench. You got to put him in there. You got to put him in there and hope for the best. Hope that he's his old Cooper Kupp, that he's back with Matthew Stafford. They're two best buddies, two passing partners. You gotta hope. And on the other side in Philly, come on, man. Do I need to put these guys out there? And Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, DeAndre Swift. Notice I went to the pass thrower, to the pass catchers, and then to the running back last. There's still Kenneth Gainwell. Is it a Gainwell day or is it a DeAndre Swift day? Okay. We don't know. They like rotating these running backs, but they don't rotate the wide receivers. They're dynamic pass catchers in Goddard. And I'm not giving up on Goddard. I know he hasn't performed, but he's coming. He's coming. Okay. Devontae Smith, big playmaker, along with A.J. Brown, best friend of the quarterback, or one of the best friends of the quarterback. Okay? Jalen Hurts. You got to play him. No choice. No brainer. Okay? Let's move on to the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. Possibly. I'm saying this possibly. You got Geno Smith, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield. Notice I went right down the line. On buys in a 2-quarterback league. Who do you take? Do you take the chance on Zach Wilson? Why not? This is one of the worst defenses in all the NFL in fantasy. Why not? 2-quarterback league, put Zach Wilson in there and hope for the best. Hope that Zach Wilson does his thing and is able to hand the ball off to Breece Hall, who's supposed to be getting an increased workload. Throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson, who's his best pass catcher. And I'm saying, the best friend of a tight end is Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin, people. Tyler Conklin. I'm telling you that he got 6 or 7 targets last week. I think Zach Wilson gets it. Hey, if I don't have somebody down the field, dumping off to Tyler Conklin. Okay? There's nothing wrong with a short pass to the tight end to improve your passing percentage and keep you out of harm's way of throwing an interception. All right? On the other side, Jaleel McLaughlin. That's another name that is more likely going to be the lead running back. He's been all over fantasy. All over fantasy as the number 1 waiver wire pickup because Javonte Williams is hurt. And Samaje Perine ain't the one. He's a nice complimentary running back, but he ain't the one. And Jaleel McLaughlin, take a chance on him. Cortland Sutton is the main pass catcher, and all the other guys are doing a subordinate role. Cortland Sutton, main target. But let me put it this way. One of these wide receivers, Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy, are going to be traded by the trade deadline. And Marvin Mims, that's another pass catcher who was the first draft pick, not in the first round, but was the first draft pick of the Denver Broncos by Sean Payton. Marvin Mims. That's another guy to look out for, to pick up and put on a roster. I know. I can't be putting all these guys. Well, you got to pick and choose what better option. What's the best option for you to pick these guys up on a waiver wire and put them on your bench? Okay? That's all I can tell you. You got to do your research. Think out what's the best option for you, and work on that. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Next one. This could be a barn burner, especially in Minnesota. Especially in Minnesota. Yes. Yes. Kansas City Chiefs at the Minnesota Vikings. Do I need to tell you to play Patrick Mahomes? No. Do I need you to tell you to play Isaiah Pacheco and even Jerick McKinnon? Nope. Jerick McKinnon is probably a good flex play. Isaiah Pacheco can be an RB2. Do I tell you that? Now, I told you about this kid before, and I keep telling you about him because I think he's going to take the role of, I wouldn't say completely, but let me get this little tidbit out here. Andy Reid is not known to give a lot of opportunities to rookie wide receivers. Okay? Not known to give a lot of play to rookie wide receivers. But this one rookie has been showing up and showing out. He's one of my favorite numbers is number 4 on the Chiefs roster. His name is Rashee Rice. Patrick Mahomes has got a connection with Rashee Rice. Okay? So what I'm telling you is this. Is another one and another one and another one. Okay? That you can put on a waiver wire. I mean, you can put on your bench. I know your bench is only but so big. And like you got to pick and choose what's the best option for you. But I'm putting a bunch of names out there where I see targets equal opportunity. And Rashee Rice is getting the targets, and he's making the most of his opportunity. Okay. Travis Kelce is his favorite target. I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. But the wide receiver position is wide open, and Rashee Rice is taking full advantage of it. I'm telling you, he's taking full advantage of it. I would rather go with Rashee Rice than Sky Moore, in my opinion. Then you go over to the Minnesota Vikings time. You know I'm a fan of Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins is playing home. And I think he's going to bounce back from a poor performance on the road against Carolina. So I like Kirk Cousins in this situation. Playing at home with his pass catchers of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who got shut out last week. Like I said, things happen. Circumstances are happen. Jordan Addison got shut out last week. 0. He had 0 points. I like TJ Hawkinson quite naturally. He likes throwing to TJ Hawkinson. He's always liked throwing to the tight end. Okay? And this is one of probably the most athletic tight end he's had than TJ Hawkinson. Okay? And I do like the other pass catcher who gets lost in the sauce. And that's KJ Osborne. Okay? I put him in one of my rosters because it's Kirk Cousins. I want to hook up Kirk Cousins, KJ Osborne. Okay, I'm shooting for the stars, but hopefully I have a good aim, and I'm hitting the star. Hopefully, okay. And it still is 11-0 with 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 44 seconds in the second quarter. And the Bills, Josh Allen, 8 for 12 for 46 yards, for 48 yards. Jacksonville, just like they're playing at home. They play better at home. or in London than they do anywhere else. It is what it is, people. They're used to playing in London. It's like their second home. And they're giving the Buffalo Bills all they can handle. Okay? All right, let's move on to the 8:20 game. And this, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. Who do I go to? Who do I go? Let's go to the road team first. Let's go to the road team first. Let me put it this way. This defense is a very good defense. But I don't see a lot of fantasy relevance for Dak Prescott in here. You got to play him because you don't want him sitting on the bench and rack up fantasy points. They may not win the game, but you're not worried about winning the game. You just want fantasy points for whatever player that you got in your roster. You got your starting lineup. So you got to play Dak Prescott. San Francisco, one of the better running defenses, but you got to play Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson. No. Now, the Dallas pass rush is not that bad. And what negates a Dallas pass rush? Getting the ball out quick. So you're going to get it to your running back, Christian McCaffrey. That's a no-brainer. You're going to get it to Brandon Ayuk. To me, that's a no-brainer. Deebo Samuel is a jack of all trades. And last but not least is George Kittle. They're playing at home, people. They're home turf, home grass. You think they're not going to? And this is a heated rivalry. I mean, it goes back decades, but now, recently, the last 2-3 years, San Francisco's knocked Dallas out of the playoffs. Oh, baby, this is going to be a heated one. This is all hands on deck. That's what I'm talking about. All hands on deck. Okay? And last but not least, it's the Green Bay Packers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Devontae Adams. What's he going to do? No Jair Alexander. No possible Aaron Jones or a healthy Aaron Jones. Okay? Now, some people got to make a decision. Do I play someone in place of Aaron Jones this week? Do I have somebody capable of picking up the slack in my running back position? Or do I take the chance in Aaron Jones playing or not playing? A.J. Dillon. That's what I'm telling you. A.J. Dillon. That way you know that he's going to get some play. He's not injured. Aaron Jones is injured. Look on the waiver wire. You should have done it already if you had Aaron Jones. Look on the waiver wire if you wanted to play a Green Bay running back, and it's not Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon. I said this before in the preseason. It looks like Jordan Love has a connection with Romeo Doubs. It's proven out through the first 4 games. People are sleeping on this combination. I am not. People are sleeping on this combination. I know Christian Watson was hurt. Okay. That's even more of a reason or more circumstance that these guys develop an even better connection. Okay. Christian Watson came back for the first time, I think, this year. Romeo Doubs still benefited from Jordan Love. Second game back, Christian Watson, is he going to take over the dominant role in the receiver room, or is it still going to be Romeo Doubs with Christian Watson getting a little bit of pieces, a little bit of piece, a little piece of the passing game. Sorry for that. And then Luke Musgrave. Not so much Samuel Porter at Detroit is Luke Musgrave involved in the offense. But I like Romeo Doubs. Jalen Reed is a rookie. He's up and down. He could be here. He could be there. I can't recommend that. I can recommend Romeo Doubs, Doubs. He shouldn't be on anybody's waiver wire. Anybody's. Nobody's waiver wire. Okay? And on the other side, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not a big Jimmy G fan. Coming back from a concussion. They're going to try to run the football with Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams is going to power through his shoulder injury. You got to play Devontae Adams. Is he going to get a light load or a regular workload from Jimmy G? You don't know. If he plays, you got to play him. I mean, he's got that name. He's got that rep. You got to play him. Okay? And if he has a light load, I mean, Devontae Adams, it's Jacoby Myers. Plain and simple. All right, people. I gave you the rundown of this past week with 8 minutes left in the program. 8 minutes left. If you're 0-4, 4-0, 2-2, 1-3, 3-1, this is week 5. Have you been lucky? Have the schedule been friendly and you need to make changes? Or have you been unlucky and the schedule has been unfavorable and you need to make some changes? Or you need to make some adjustments in your roster? Think about it. Think about it. You're not halfway through the season yet, but it's getting close. This is week 5. Okay? Week 8, 9, you got to be in a position to make that playoff push. Got to be in a position to make that playoff. Just because you're 0-4, 1-3 does not mean you can't make it. I want to get you into the playoffs. I've given you so many sleepers this week. So many. And other players that you got to look at, you got to pick up, you got to use to try to get that 1-3 to 2-3, and 2-3 to 3-3, and so on and so forth. That's what you got to do. Right, naturally, when you're 0-4 or 1-3, you're in scramble mode. You got to get a win. You don't think you're ever going to get another win. Okay? So you got to make moves. You got to give to get, meaning in a trade process. You got to give to get. Okay? There's somebody out there. There's a team out there just like you saying, damn, I'm hurting at tight end, say this, so to speak. I'm hurting at running back or wide receiver. But I'm good in running backs. I can afford to give a running back from a wide receiver or vice versa, wide receiver for a running back. What's wrong with trying to make that move? Identify what team in your league, and there's always one team that has a need, and you have a strength with a need, vice versa, and make that move. Okay? That being said, people, I want to thank you for joining me. Enjoy the week. Good luck. And go get them.